A handmade dress can be more than clothing. It can become part of a life story. Today, we are in my sewing archives revisiting a brown wrap dress I made 9 years ago for my daughter. It carried her through youth, pregnancy, young motherhood, and special family memories. Made from jersey fabric, draped with no pattern, and created through problem solving when fabric was short. This dress became proof that thoughtful sewing can be stylish, practical, and long-lasting. Initially, this fabric was for turtlenecks and cardigans. But many winters passed, and I only got around to sewing one garment, a turtleneck. Then, my daughter's birthday came around, and I decided to use the brown material to make a wrap dress and surprise her. Well, her birthday was coming around. So I used the brown jersey for the wrap because it has fantastic draping qualities. This dress uses about 3¼ yards of fabric at 60 inches wide. It may be more. Remember, I had already made a turtleneck. Because of its structure, you can use any bodice type to make this kind of dress. All you need is a sewing machine and thread. Besides, I didn't use a template. I draped it on a dress form. I placed the fabric on a dress form. That made it easy to make adjustments. As in the case of the cowl, I had the alternative to make it higher or lower. I chose higher. And how I did that? I used the scrap to make a cowl that sat higher than the main fabric, just sitting under the main fabric. I knew I did not have enough fabric to do what I wanted once the material was on the dress form because my daughter is a tall girl. So I shifted into how am I going to do this mode? I took the fabric off the form, cut 8 inches off the length of the fabric, leaving me with 52 inches wide material to make the dress. The thing is, it still wasn't enough. All will be well if only I could have a ½ yard more of the material. But since that wasn't happening, I went to work on the design. With the 8 inches of fabric I cut off, I decided to use some of it as a waist tie to close the dress and add length. The rest of it, I braided and attached it to the back of the neck with enough length to secure it at the front waistline. After attaching the back pieces to the neckline, I gathered the fabric at the lower end of the material and attached the sash. Of course, I finished the edges of the belt, making sure to place a hook and eye on the front side edges and securing it at the back. So that hook and eye held the front pieces together. The truth is, I love fabric, and I often choose to make pieces that use up a lot of it. And when there's not enough, I come up with a design. For me, a brown wrap dress, or any color for that matter, is the perfect go-to item in any wardrobe. It's flexible and suited to many occasions, depending on the fabrics you choose. Besides, its figure-flattering shapes help you to create a look that accents your best features, staying fashionable and stylish. Remember, your wrap dress does not have to echo this shape. View it as equal to a little black dress in brown or another color, and take the chance to wrap yourself in pure elegance in the hues you favor. Then we found out she was expecting, and guess what? She was still wearing the dress. That made me happy because it speaks to sustainability. She even had pictures taken while wearing it. I told her she didn't need a specific number of garments to look good, but if she chose well, she looked good for a long time. A delightful baby girl came in the summer, and about 2 years later, she wanted to take photos in the dress with the baby. Well, being the grandmother that I am, I found pieces of fabric in my stash that complemented the mother's dress. And once again, she took the photos. If you are learning to sew and looking for inspiration, consider this your what's possible. Take what works for you and leave what doesn't. This gorgeous brown wrap dress counts as a neutral shade, which means you can wear it with everything. Try turquoise, fuchsia, gold, yellow, orange, green, copper, and purple. Explore the deeply saturated tints, tones, and shades of brown available. And somewhere you will find a value that makes you happy. But if that doesn't work for you, pass on the brown. It will look good in any color. If you love sewing, fashion, creativity, and stories from a lifetime maker, welcome to All My Ways, Andrea. As always, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate your presence.